As a sister.
Agreed. Agreed. 110% agreed. Yeah, no, that was all bad. It was all bad. I mean, personally, I was just like, you know what? This is just not. This is bad. This is really going really bad right now. Anyways, we got a couple of crazy stories coming at you. We got some very crazy, outlandish news coming towards you. First of all, we have a couple that got busted. What's going on with that, Jeremy?
So we actually have a couple in Barstow County. This is an interesting one. Police were responding to a illegal possession of firearms call, and they basically entered a house, served a warrant, and found large amounts of methamphetamine, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, 6 rifles, 4 shotguns, and 9 pistols.
Oh
and
God.
The kicker is, not only were 3 of the firearms stolen and had been reported stolen out of Victorville and Barstow, but detectives also found children unattended in the house with access to every single area that the drugs, ammo, and guns were stored in.
Oh my God.
So needless to say, they're facing massive felony charges, as well as probably never seeing their children again.
Oh man. These are people that are actually like, they're actually like not exactly the smartest, the sharpest tool in the tool shed.
Honestly, if you're going to be a criminal, be a little smarter than this. But
God.
Secondly, I've been around a lot of orphanages. I've been to some DCFS places, Department of Family Services, all that kind of stuff. And they can be pretty harsh. And honestly, I wouldn't wish that on most kids. But in this situation, oh, thank God those kids are going somewhere else.
Yeah, tell me about it. And I mean, it goes to the old saying from police officers when they say, if all criminals were smart, we'd be out of business.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's just pretty much what all of them pretty much say for the most part. So, well, good thing that happened to them. And that happened in Barstow, California, you mean?
Yep, Barstow, California.
Well, then there you go. Well, we got well, there you go. That's all I wanted to say about that. You also, another piece of outlandish news, woman returns home to find a surprise. What kind of surprise did this woman find exactly?
So we have a woman in Arizona, which of course it's Arizona, Tucson, which it's a great city, but yeah, this kind of thing happens. She returned home. She'd been gone for like 4 days and was really kind of looking forward to, taking a shower and using her own bathroom, because she'd been gone for a while. And she went in the restroom and opened the lid, and there was a curled up coach whip snake.
Oh, nice. Oh, that is freaking brilliant. How the hell did it get in there?
Honestly, snakes have the ability to flatten their bodies a little bit. Their skeletal structure kind of flattens similar to how mice do. So they can get through some pretty small spaces. They can go through that space between the lid. And some of them actually have the strength to be able to force themselves between the lid. They have enough force in their body moving that they can push the lid up a little bit and climb in. It's awesome. Moist. It's dark.
Don't use that word.
It's moist and it's dark.
He used the word moist and dark. What is the matter with you? It's definitely going to be one of those shows. It was. Do you want me to go back to the pomegranate video again?
So anyway, she had to call, her father tried to wrangle the snake. Apparently it got away, and she had to call some rattlesnake wranglers. The good thing was, given you never quite know unless you know snakes really, really well, a coach whip is not poisonous. Apparently they do have enough teeth that they can give you a pretty good bite that's going to hurt a good deal. But there is no poison. So Again, not saying sitting down on the toilet and getting surprised by that would be fun, but you wouldn't die most likely.
Well, that's actually similar to what happened to me once. Only in my
Of course,
case,
he had this happen.
Well, yeah, it was no. In my case, it wasn't a snake. It was a black widow. So,
and you're arachnophobic.
To make matters even freaking worse. So, what ended up happening was I actually sat down, to go ahead and do my business. And as I'm about to sit down, the black widow was underneath the front portion of the toilet. So if it would have bit me, it would have been a very embarrassing time at the emergency room.
I can just picture you at the ER.
Oh my God. Like, yeah, we need some anti-venom. Where? The guy's penis. Black widow bit his penis. Dude, I swear I was freaking out. I was freaking out when I saw that. I was like, oh my God. Had I sat down, dude, all bad. I don't know how the hell it got under there, though. Like, black widows don't usually stay in places like those. They usually go into darker places that are moist.
Well, again, the toilet with the lid down does tend to hold in some condensation and some moisture, and it is moist and dark. So again, spiders and especially black widows do like that.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're giving people the creeps.
Flashbacks. Well, we actually have somebody, Carrie is saying, I had a corn snake that escaped once. It had been missing for a few weeks and hid in my SO's folded clothes for the day. It was in his pants and he went commando. Watching him try to jump out of the pants whilst the snake was striking at him was hilarious. That's so wrong.
I've heard stories like this. I've been around snakes. I've had snakes get out. Mine always seem to make it into the bathroom for some reason. We always found them in the corner in the bathroom somewhere. But I had a friend who's the guy she was dating. It's going to sound bad. I'm trying to cut you off before you get started. His python escaped.
Make it stop.
And he was out of town.
Come on. You can't just do that to me.
And she woke up with it in bed with her.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God. I love it. That's probably the best damn story I've ever heard today. Anyways, moving on. I can't do this anymore. Moving on. Lake Tahoe fugitive captured.
So, yeah, we have a notorious fugitive from the Lake Tahoe area, Hank the Tank, a bear who is behind over 21 home invasions.
That's the fugitive they caught, was a bear?
Hank the Tank is his nickname, and they've been trying to track him and catch him for quite some time. He is responsible for over 21 break-ins.
That is hilarious.
Where he has broken in and actually stolen food and eaten and destroyed people's houses. So,
that is interesting.
A bear who was on the Lake Tahoe's most wanted list, apparently, has finally been captured. DNA tested and confirmed that it's the bear. And yet she was trespassing again, this time with 3 young cubs in tow.
Aww.
The agency typically euthanizes so-called conflict bears due to risk to the community, but because this was only vandalization stuff, it had been around people and had not harmed them, and because it had children, the 3 male cubs, they're going to try and put it somewhere where it'll be more out of the way and let her raise her cubs until they're ready to go out on their own.
Well, that's awesome, though. That's really cool. That's really cool that they actually are doing that. Deborah is asking, was it the cocaine bear?
No. Well, this is Lake Tahoe. There's
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
a lot of money there, but
wanted to give a shout out to Crystal Kane on TikTok right now. She's watching me. She's having a great day. I hope you're having a great day too, Crystal. So as I was telling you guys earlier, I am simultaneously simulcasting not only just here, but also on TikTok as well. So we're doing the podcast on both. They can't see Jeremy, but they can only hear him on TikTok. So anybody on TikTok that's watching right now, if you guys want to go ahead and check out the whole stream, if you want to go ahead and see Jeremy's ugly mug, just click on the link in my bio, follow the YouTube channel, and we'll get you right there. So moving on to some entertainment. Actually, no, wait a minute. We have one more, actually. We have 4 outlandish stories, Jeremy. What the hell happened today?
I don't know. It was a good day for the slightly off center.
Nice. Well, we got a Texas woman gets double whammied. Dude, what is up with these entendres today? Oh my God, why? It's just going from bad to worse right now. Oh Lord, go ahead.
We have a Texas woman named Peggy Jones. Now, picture this. You go outside your house to perform a few chores out in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
You're just, you're moving some trash cans, you're taking care of your garden, and out of nowhere, a snake falls from the sky, lands on you, and wraps itself around you.
Another one?
And as you're freaking out trying to get this thing off of you, the hawk that dropped it on you now attacks to try and get it back and claws the living crap out of you.
Oh my God. That is the worst luck a woman could freaking have. I swear to God.
This is what happened to Peggy Jones from Silsbee in Texas, which is near Beaumont. So, yeah, you think you're having a bad day? Try that on for size.
The snake, okay, Hawk drops snake, then Hawk tries to grab snake, attacks both snake and woman, both at the same freaking time. That is like the worst day.
Miss Jones said the hawk attempted at least 4 times to take the snake before eventually succeeding in its mission and leaving her blood everywhere.
Wow. That's it.
She went to the hospital where she was treated for some very deep cuts and bruises from where the snake had wrapped itself really hard around her arm, apparently.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, talk about, you're just going about your day. It's a nice day, a little hot. You're just getting some stuff done around the house. You're feeling good. You're getting some stuff accomplished, and dive bombing snake followed by dive bombing hawk.
Oh my God. That is the freaking okay. That's gotta be a full moon out or something that's like causing this shit to happen to these people. I swear to God. There's no way like snakes are like going like this is just insane. This is just insane right now. It's like snakes attacking people all over again. We got some messages for you guys. We'll be right back with some entertainment news right here on the Navarro-Miller Report. I quite frankly, I'm looking up and make sure. I just got attacked by a spider before the show started. So these animals are not taking any prisoners today. We'll be right back.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And we're back. You gotta hate it when zombies use the front door, but you gotta hate it even more when snakes are dropping on you like freaking flies. Anyway,
Dave's gonna be having nightmares tonight.
Oh my God, dude! And it's all your fault, by the way. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I hate you so much. Anyways, going on to some entertainment news. Stephen Amell is flip-flopping, between being for the strike and being against the writer's strike, actually the SAG-AFTRA and writer's strike. And it's kind of like a few of his co-stars, well, one of his co-stars in particular actually is like, dude, F this guy. They're not really too happy with it. So according to TMZ, he was actually on TMZ Live a couple of days ago, and he was speaking out against the strike, basically saying that he says, according to TMZ.com, he says, quote, he told us he supports his union, SAG-AFTRA, but totally disagreed with the union leadership's decision to go on strike, believing there are better ways to negotiate a good deal with the studios. However, Steven also has been promoting the new season of Heels, which he's not really supposed to be doing that. And he's been just like, he said that to TMZ, but now he was seeing picketing. He was on the line today with his wife in NYC. Now, some of his co-stars have been seen also, his former co-stars from the TV show Arrow have been seen on the picket lines. But one in particular that had something to say was Kirk Acevedo, that said, he basically retweeted a tweet with, middle finger emoji saying, F this guy. Because Stephen Amell says he doesn't support the actor strike. It's quote, it's a reductive negotiating tactic. And that's when he said, F this guy. So some of his former co-stars are not too happy with the way Stephen Amell is talking about it. I mean, Jeremy, you as an actor, do you agree with what he said? I mean, do you agree with saying that it's reductive? Or reductive, I should say.
No, I don't. I mean, given nobody wants a strike, this is not the goal. Both sides get hurt, and given the people who are going to be striking, as always happens, are the ones with less money and less cushion, so it hurts more. So nobody wanted this. He's talking like, this was something that they, were hoping would happen. SAG made multiple offers that, from what I've seen, were very reasonable. They weren't demanding a ton. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't even basically look at it. They basically dismissed the offers without even, I'm sorry, but the big companies don't want to negotiate, or at least at the time. Were dragging their feet, knew that they could just wait it out, make it take as long as they want. Unfortunately, sometimes something has to be done. So no, I don't agree with him, but I probably wouldn't go as far as his co-stars saying F this guy either. I know many people who don't agree with everything their union does and yet still support the union. And that's fine. So, I mean, he could have been out there picketing just for the sheer fact that he still supports the union. I've seen many people who do, even when they don't agree with the leadership's decisions.
We have somebody, Pickles and Cheese on TikTok is asking, what are we talking about? We're actually talking about the writer's strike. We're talking entertainment news right now. And the thing that I'm also looking at as well is that could it be possible that maybe his PR team said, you got to go ahead and mend these fences because what you're saying right now could affect you in the future, especially like with Heels, trying to get maybe guest stars to come on the show and things like that. Maybe actors don't want to work with you because you were speaking against them during the strike.
Any of that is possible with how social media and plays out, and the being in the public eye plays out nowadays. That's definitely possible. But like I said, it's also just as possible that, he may disagree with what the union is doing and at the same time still supports the union. So he's out there showing his support. We don't know, and either are completely viable.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, and this is just something that I saw on Facebook, I don't know how legitimate or how not legitimate, but how accurate this story is, but I saw something on Facebook saying that negotiations will resume on Monday. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, unless barring some catastrophe, they are supposed to be coming back to the table on Monday to reopen negotiations. This is the second restart. Apparently, the first one didn't go very well if they're having to restart yet again.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, everything I'm hearing is that they're still very, very, very far apart on the issues. So I hope they keep talking, and I hope we get this wrapped up soon. But I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
it's affecting you as an actor.
Oh, it's affecting every. I mean,
being a former actor from the TV show Growing Pains and everything, you yourself have said that it's affecting you because, I mean, you have to go to signings, and, you know, that's like a lot of where your income also comes from is from doing, you know, autograph signings with the Growing Pains, you know, stuff on there.
It's a lot of where it's where a lot of my supplemental income comes from. And I'm not allowed to do the conventions. I'm only allowed to sell certain things that would really limit what I can sell. So I'm probably not doing any conventions until those rules loosen up a little bit. But I also not lost, but had 3 projects I was supposed to be filming end of July, end of August, and end of September. I was supposed to be filming 3 different movies that we've had in pre-production for 7 years. They finally got greenlit in May. And then everything shut down. So yes, this is affecting me personally, but I still think it needed to be done. And let's not forget, I mean, we're talking about the actors and the writers, but this is affecting everybody. I have so many friends who are makeup artists, who are grips, who are cameramen, who are, you know, who work at every level of production on these shows, and they're out of work now too. So, I mean, it's a rough situation.
Well, hopefully this Monday negotiations will go ahead and progress forward into something more positive than, you know, going backwards, because I mean, I personally have said myself that it's possible that the reason why they're like, you know, pretty much not negotiating is because they have so much stuff in stock as far as things to watch that they're like, you know what, we could go on strike for another few months, you know, up until next year, the beginning of next year, because we already have shows that have been edited and ready to put out there anyway.
I hope I'm wrong, but you're dead on with that. I mean, they do have more leeway in that they can hold their bottom line longer with the amount of streaming content that most of these companies have in reserve. But that only lasts for so long.
True.
And right now, from what we're seeing from the leadership at SAG and from the members, people are pretty galvanized. You know, I don't see them, you know, flinching anytime soon. It's going to have to be a real negotiation. You know, they always say a real negotiation, a good negotiation is when neither side is happy. You know, and that's what that's what it's going to need to be. And both sides are going to have to get their head around that.
And out of their asses. Well, only one side really. The other side's got a point.
Exactly.
Yeah, the actor side, they have a point. The other side, not so much because of the greediness. But Deborah was also saying, she's like, "What? I want you and Dave at conventions. LOL. That sucks. I don't know about you. I don't know if you want me there, Deborah. To be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe him, me, not so much. I'm not really. You know, I'm not. I wouldn't be fun. I'm just not a fun guy.
I can attest to that.
Dude, I was looking for some backup, not you know, like freaking throw me even deeper under the bus, why don't you? Anywho, moving on to some other entertainment news. Lizzo has been taken off of the nice, I hate you. Lizzo has been taken, for those of you on TikTok that are not watching him right now. He's doing a little like, you know, mustache thing. Anyways, he's evil. Anyways, Lizzo has been taken off Super Bowl list of potential performers. Now, as we all know, Lizzo has been pretty much accused of a lot of sexual misconduct allegations. Lizzo, of all people, I just don't understand. Lizzo seemed like, and I said this on my radio show before, that Lizzo just seems like too much of a nice person, I guess, that you wouldn't think that she would be involved in such a controversial, you know, and such controversial accusations such as sexual harassment, misconduct, etc. And unfortunately, that is also taking, like, pretty much taking it on her brands, her personal side, everything. It's affecting her completely. Even accusations can affect a person. I mean, it's just, I mean, we saw it with Danny Masterson, but in Danny Masterson's case, he was found guilty of the allegations. But still, even though there's still, like, at the beginning, there's still just allegations. So even allegations can cause a lot of harm to a person's future. I mean, Lizzo right now, she just got taken off of one of the biggest stages, in history, which is the Super Bowl, to perform at the Super Bowl. I mean, this is going to really affect her in so many other ways.
It definitely will. My take on all of these kind of, stories is we got to wait for more info to come out. This could be blown out of proportion. This could be completely real. We don't know. We haven't heard anything, any real details yet. And if she manages to come out of this and, looks like it wasn't, any big deal, or it was falsified, or was blown out of proportion, she can recover from this. I think all of her brands can recover from this, but it all just depends on how serious the actual, allegations are.
Well, I mean, she could recover from it, but at the same time, will people want to work with her, thinking that maybe her money got her out of the mess that she's in?
We've seen it before. Cancel culture, I've said before, is not a real thing in the long term. I understand what people are talking about, but no one's been canceled. All these people that, he got canceled, they're all still working. They're all still doing their jobs. They're all still doing the exact same. The only person that I can think of that was really, really canceled without having criminal charges against them was Michael Richards, from Seinfeld. He didn't recover from that. But I mean, almost everybody else, Louis C.K., all these other comedians, all these other singers, musicians, all this other stuff, no one's been canceled. They're all back to doing their jobs. They all have endorsements again. They're all working, so I honestly think people forget the almighty dollar still rules in this country. And if she can sell it and she got, out of this jam, people will back her again.
So in essence, in so many words, what you're saying, money talks, bullshit walks.
That'll sum it up.
Just go ahead, just put it out there like that all the way. Well, we got let's see what happens with Lizzo, and let's see if she actually ends up recovering from this mess, because it's just it's not good. Real quick, one thing we were talking about before this, change the subject for a second. What do you think about Kevin Costner and that whole situation with his wife? The fact of the matter, so for those of you that haven't heard, Kevin Costner's wife is claiming, her legal team is claiming that they didn't understand the prenup. And Kevin Costner's legal team is saying, what part of the word understand did you not understand?
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of astounded when I heard that. I've done jury duty a few times, and I've actually been involved in a few contractual law cases. And I mean, unless she can somehow prove that, again, which this doesn't make sense because they didn't understand it. So she had legal representation review this document and then signed it. That responsibility falls on her.
Yep.
That does not fall on Kevin Costner or his team. Now, once this is over with Kevin, she might have grounds to go back and sue her legal team if they actually did not understand this document. She may have grounds for that. But again, from what I've seen in the legal system, sheer stupidity is not an excuse. Is not an excuse that works out real well. So I was really astounded when I heard that.
It's the funniest thing, because it's one of those situations where you're just sitting there and you're just like, really? You didn't get the part. Which part didn't you get? The part where you don't get the money, or the part that you don't get the money? Yeah. Which one of those two did you not understand completely? So I swear, see, people try to pull fast ones all the time, especially with people that have money. So we'll be right back with some sports news coming at you right after this. Jeremy, prenup. I already sent you one. It's all good. I'll be right back.
Listening to stuff has never been so enjoyable. If you had the misfortune to have been born after 1990, then you missed out on a lot of cool stuff. Then Is Now podcast is here to remedy that. Join Rigor and his dedicated band of rotating hosts as they tackle pop culture of the past and how it relates today. From celebrity interviews to film and TV discussion and beyond, Then Is Now podcast brings you up to speed on all the cool stuff that you should know about. Plus, the East meets the West. If you enjoy movies that have lots of shooting and fighting, then there's a whole world of films out there that you don't even know about. Join our hosts on a journey as they discuss the amazing kung fu films of the Shaw Brothers and Western films made in Italy that have become known as spaghetti westerns. Action, adventure, kung fu fighting. Both shows and more can be found at havenpodcasts.com. Warning, may cause nostalgic feelings and eliminate boredom.
So the funniest thing, people that are watching me on TikTok can't see what I see. So my TikTok is like, what is this, elevator music? You guys have to come click on my link, the YouTube link in my bio, to watch what I'm watching so you guys can understand better what the commercials that we're putting on here are like. Anyways, moving on to some sports news. The Pac-12. We got a lot of people. There's like chaos going on in the Pac-12 right now, man.
It is a dire, dire time. Man, there are 4 teams left in the Pac-12.
Only 4 already?
Yeah, that's everybody else has committed to leave. Only Stanford, Cal, Washington State, and Oregon State, I believe. Those are the 4 schools that are left. That's it. Everybody else is committed to go. USC and UCLA were the first, of course.
Yep.
Heading to the Big 12. Big 10 or Big whatever the heck they call it now. I have no idea. They're up to 18 teams.
Big
now,
95, 6.454.
Then Oregon and Washington are joining as well. And then we have Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State going to the Big 12. Everybody's bailed. And the truth is, this all comes down to the former leadership of the Pac-12, Larry Scott and the other commissioners who ran this legendary conference into the ground. And then, unfortunately, I can never remember his name. Google him. He's the current, he's the current Pac-12 president. But he was left to try and salvage this mess, and he destroyed it. I mean, he basically dragged his feet on the media deals, kept trying to get bigger and better. And these teams are sitting here waiting, going, what the hell? We need revenue. We need to know what kind of money's coming in so we know who to hire, how much we can invest in our program. We need answers. And it just wasn't coming fast enough. And here you go. You've got a signed and sealed and delivered contract from one of these other places, guaranteeing you're going to make more money than you would make even if you waited for the deal that this guy's going to present for you.
Agreed.
I mean, it's a level of ineptitude for the leadership of the Pac-12 that just is astounding. This is a legendary. This conference goes back over 100 years. Over 100 years. The Rose Bowl tie-ins.
Yep.
It's West Coast Conference football and Midwest Conference football at its finest, and it's disappearing. And it didn't have to happen. It really didn't.
What I was just gonna say is like, I love my people on TikTok. I sort of got they're hilarious. They're making fun of it. They're like, oh, so now it's the Pac-4. It's pretty soon gonna be the Pac-2. I swear, I love my people on TikTok.
Here's the thing. It could. I mean, they're exploring options. They're talking about possibilities with merging with the ACC. There's also talk that the ACC might poach just a couple of teams. There was talk with the Midwestern Conference, which would actually be a pretty good fit for Oregon State and maybe for Cal, Oregon State and Washington State. But Stanford, with its academic reputation, actually may have a better time going independent, going the Notre Dame route. because the fact is, they're even without a conference, teams are going to want to play them.
True.
They
Because they're
already
legendary.
they already have their own television contract, which does not rely on a conference, just like
Exactly.
Notre Dame. And their academic standards are so high that if you're wanting to play football for Stanford, you're going to go play football for Stanford. It doesn't matter what conference they're playing in. They have a very unique brand. They're not going to lose anything by going independent. So that's a possibility as well. So we'll see how this shakes out. I can't see this inept leadership managing to wrangle 8 teams inside of a year to come and join the conference to salvage the Pac-12. I just can't see that happening. So
it's slowly fizzling out. It's slowly fizzling out if it hasn't already fizzled out as it is. You know, and the fact of the matter is that they thought, Pac-12 thought that they were going to be around forever, that they had, like, these teams had no other options but to stay with them. They were sorely wrong. And now, what are they going to be left with? Not a damn thing. They're going to be left with pretty much empty hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is something, I mean, because they found these teams were like, screw you, we have other options. If we don't have other options, we will create another option. And we will still move forward with it, regardless of what you think you can do. So, I mean, nothing's forever. Nothing's forever. Everything, you know, everything just, you know, fizzles out eventually. And I'm using fizzle because I'm seeing people on my TikTok saying fizzle, fizzle, shizzle, or whatever. So
college football has always been a business.
Yeah.
But since the NIL, you know, and players getting paid, the veneer of amateurism has fallen away.
Mm-hmm.
That was an illusion. It's never, I mean, it's college football since, you know, probably the 60s and 70s has been a major business, you know, a cash cow. And it was guised and covered and cloaked in the noble idea of amateurism. But it was basically BS. Now, since the NIL, that shroud has fallen, and we're seeing it for what it is. It's a business. Teams are trying to get the best deals they can. Conferences are trying to get the best deals they can. It's all about the almighty dollar.
And they're losing it. They're losing it. We got Carrie's asking, she just made a great joke right here. Would you call George whatever the Pac-Man?
No, because he didn't gobble up enough teams and salvage this conference.
And then we got people on my TikTok also making comments like, oh, so Tupac's back. I swear. You people, behave yourselves. This is a serious situation, damn it. The Pac is losing.
We're losing a huge amount of rivalry games. You're losing tradition.
We're still going to have rivalry games one way or another.
You'll have some, but USC and Stanford over the last 10 years, 15 years has built into quite a rivalry.
But you know what? Stanford will eventually move forward.
They will, but it's still not going to be an obligated game, and we have obligated games with the new alignment and the new conference. So it may not happen very often. Cal, who is USC's longest running rival,
true,
that game will no longer be played. West Coast Conference football is changing forever with the death of the Pac-12. It's, Rose Bowl tie-ins, all the bowl tie-ins, for years, even with the BCS, they did their best to try and keep the best on the Pac-12 and the best of the Big Ten every year. West Coast, the Midwest, it's just, we're losing a lot of the tradition. New traditions will be formed. This is the new state of the game, and it's the way it's got to go. But, we're losing a lot here.
I mean, the good news is that, we still got a chance to kick your guys' ass this year.
Good luck with that, baby.
Both teams. Hey, I'm trying to delude myself.
Both
okay?
teams? Now you're really dreaming.
Myself, okay? Give me a break.
Might cough up an egg and lose one.
I know that Notre Dame.
Always possible. Always possible with USC.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
especially against Notre Dame. UCLA, however, I get it. UCLA,
you guys ain't winning 2 this year.
there's just no way. And the thing is, one of the viewers is actually an SC fan. She went ahead and told me this. Yeah, and she's posting right now, One Nation, right now on TikTok. She's saying,
Fight
USC with the fuck that. I hate you all. You made me drop an F-bomb, damn it. That's how riled up I get whenever I start thinking about USC and just I'm sorry, but I'm perfectly aware of the fact of the matter that UCLA is gonna suck big time for the next, I don't know how many years that we have that coach contracted to. We're going through the same thing SC went through, as you so painfully have told me dozens of times.
Feel my pain, baby.
And I'm feeling it. Trust me. I'm like, we had a chance to get rid of him. No, UCLA decided to give him another to renew his contract. Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's the Clay Helton extension years. Enjoy.
Yeah, not so much. But at least Notre Dame is still going to be, we had a rebuild year last year.
We've talked about this. I like their new coach. I think the guys, got the program moving in the right direction. Notre Dame's always going to be tough. So,
and we had a rebuild year last year. This year, we're starting to kind of like get our legs together. We have a bunch of new students that are coming in. They're going to be learning the ropes little by little. I'd give probably like Notre Dame another 2 years before they start being a top tier once again.
Probably,
right now,
but I think they're still a bowl team this year, definitely.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We got Meg saying, "Go Seminoles, FSU."
Hey, FSU looking to bolt as well. Might be leaving the ACC. Has been having talks, I believe, with the SEC. Clemson and Florida State have been in talks to leave the ACC as well. I think that's why the ACC's been talking to the leftover teams from the Pac-12. So they're like, if they bail, we need more people.
Oh, man. It's tough. This is just chaotic. Everything from top to bottom is just chaotic with the Pac-12. This is going to cause so many like twists and turns and tangles that to unravel it it's going to take a while to unravel all this crap because it's getting really bad. Anyways, moving on to some other sports news. The NFL running back. What's going on with the NFL running back issue?
So over the last few years, the running back position has really become devalued. The wear and tear that the running back position puts on the body and the high rate of injuries, the high rate of, large investments and careers being cut short, has made owners rather hesitant to give good deals to running backs. So on one hand, they're looking at something a lot of us deal with. They're in a field of work that is no longer worth what it once was, and they are not seeing the same return. The running backs, on the other hand, have a point in that if you don't have a great running back on your team, I don't give a damn how good your quarterback is, you're not going anywhere.
True. So
they've kind of hit a stalemate. You've got 2 or 3 running backs already who are sitting out training camp, and have 2 of which I believe have said that they're not going to report at all if they don't get a new contract. And the owners are standing pretty firm. The owners do not want to pay for a player that, takes the kind of beating. I can see what they're, thinking, in that, this is a large investment and these players take a beating. Nobody takes a beating on the field like a running back. And running backs' careers of all the positions are the shortest by far.
Anyway, so yep, that's right, because they're the ones that have to go down the middle. They're the ones that have to take everything, every single little thing that comes at them.
If you recall, even just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a running back getting 30 carries a game was normal. Okay, 30 carries a game. 30 times you ran into a pile of 300 to 400 pound monsters who were slamming you left and right and then jumping on top of you. every time. Guys who are moving fast enough that they are actually creating enough kinetic energy that it's like getting hit by a car. And they're doing this 30 times a game.
Oh yeah.
Your body breaks down. So the owners just don't value that position like they did. And the running backs, of course, are taking this beating and know that they make the offense move, and they want to be paid accordingly. So we're hitting another bit of an impasse here. Truthfully, I think the owners are going to have to shell out a little bit more. I get their point.
Well, the running backs are the workhorse of the NFL.
That's exactly it. And if the top running backs, you can't work with your bench running back and hope to make the Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen. Even the greatest quarterbacks are not going to carry the whole team if you can't get those 3 and 4 yards when you need them.
And those 3 and 4 yards are always crucial. That's the thing, especially in football. Even that 1 yard is crucial in football, especially now that a lot of teams are taking fourth downs and actually running the ball on fourth downs. Even if it's 4th and 2, some teams are actually taking it. If they see if they have a running back that they know is going to be able to mow through, go down the middle, and get that first down. So it's a tough job. It's not an easy job. So let's go ahead and switch out real quick. Let's talk preseason games so far. Right now, as we're talking, the Packers are leading the Bengals 36-19. Now, we all know preseason is BS. Preseason is basically the time where, the coaches are trying to see who they're going to cut, who's going to stay, who's going to go. That's what these are, tryouts. This is an extension of the tryouts, is the preseason games right now. So for the Packers to be up 36-19 against the Bengals, that's got to tell you that the Bengals are going to have to go ahead and make some changes to their defense, because Burrow's got sacked during this game by a rookie from the Packers. So for that to be the case, Bengals coaching staff is going to have to rearrange how their offense is protecting their quarterback. Otherwise, Burrows is going to be seeing that grass and becoming real close friends with it.
I'm going to disagree a little bit. With the preseason especially, you can't really start paying attention until the third game. They have so many rookies. They have so many guys who they know they're going to cut that are being given a shot, that are being given a look in these first 2 preseason games. Nobody's gelling. Offensive lines, if they have new pieces moved in, are not gelling together well because they haven't gotten any, much game time together. Right around the 3rd preseason game, you'll start seeing a few more of the role players, a few more of the bench guys who are going to make the team. Then you'll start seeing where a team's really at. I wouldn't put too much into strategy or having to worry about changing stuff like that for the Bengals yet. I think it just means that they had quite a lot of people who they knew weren't going to make the cut in the first place out there. And, those who were going to make the cut, they're not gelling yet. It's a first preseason game.
Yeah, the same could be said about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers losing badly and me laughing and smiling.
I know, but we're going to laugh every time Rodgers loses this year. The circumstances won't matter.
That's very true. At the end of the day, I'm not, and the thing is, here's the irony around it. I'm not bitter that he left. I'm actually, and I've told you this, I was actually hoping he would leave so that way the Packers could have an opportunity to rebuild the team.
Yep.
And then go forward past the past, which is Rodgers. And you and I, we both talked about this. The Jets is where quarterbacks go to die. That's just the bottom line. So, who knows how many more, games this guy's got before he says, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Time to retire. Another team that's actually kind of like going neck and neck, and this is something that's actually odd. The Giants are up, and this is the 4th. There's 2 minutes left, 2 minutes, 27 seconds left in the 4th quarter. They're up only by 2 against Detroit.
It's not a shock to me. First of all, again, it's preseason. These guys are playing fourth string people. So you really can't put much weight in it. But Detroit is a much improved team. their offense in particular is actually really strong. They've got a strong quarterback. They've got really good receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown from SC
True.
busted out
that.
last year. They've got a couple of really good running backs. They've got a solid offense. So I'm not shocked to see them give the Giants a hard time. I think even during the regular season when everybody's got everybody playing, I think that's a tough matchup for them.
One other team that is feeling the effects of losing their quarterback is Tampa Bay. They are down 10-27 right now in the fourth against the Steelers. Is this a precursor of things to come for Tampa Bay now that Brady's no longer with them?
Well, I mean, we know that their offense probably will not, have the pop it did with somebody like Brady. At the same time, Brady's skills were waning. Brady was not the guy who won all those championships. He was a guy at the end of his career. Could he have played a couple more years? Absolutely. But he was a player in decline. So, again, it's preseason. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but it's the first game. I don't think we can really read anything into it for Tampa Bay yet. If by the third game this is still the case, then we've got a pretty clear picture.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Navarro-Miller Report. I understand that we probably had some technical difficulties early on in the show. I wanted to apologize for that ahead of time. We're actually working with a new system that's kind of a little wonky here. So we guarantee you that next Friday we'll have it. Hopefully we'll have all our ducks in a row. But for the time being, I'm your host, Dave Navarro, along with this bane of my existence.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
We will go ahead and see you guys next Friday here, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget, I still have my radio show On the Ride Home with Dave Navarro this Monday from 2 p.m. PST to 7 p.m. PST. So make sure you check that out. But for right now, want to wish everybody a great and hopefully a cooler weekend. We'll see how that goes here in Southern California. But for now, we'll see you all next time.
You have been listening to the Navarro-Miller Report.
This episode of the Navarro-Miller Report was brought to you by the Dorkening Podcast Network and sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee.